YouTube. Hey, I know we haven't put a video on in about a month now. Things have been crazy. I've mentioned in prior videos that I'm helping a buddy out at shop. We're doing a 1957 Ford Starliner kind of a deal. And I was over there one day a few weeks ago, and it's like, my buddy, he's absolutely spazzing. He's getting so far behind, just him, turning wrenches. His wife's helping with the I guess you call it administrative stuff, answering phones and whatnot, which does help greatly. I offered, like, hey, you got some bigger jobs here. Do you want me to help you? He agreed to that. So the past 3 weeks or so, I've been over there knocking out big stuff, really. Had to redo an entire fuel system on a 7.3 truck. Pull the head off of a Chrysler LeBaron. That was a weird one. One of our kids, you know, he's 17. We had a car for him. We just had to put it back together. We basically, the gist is we did an in-frame on it. Got that back together in a couple days. Got it out the door. It's running, driving. EcoBoost job. Had gaskets on that. Just big stuff that you need a second set of hands for. And I'm not going to sit there and watch him struggle. I was like, nah, man, I'll come help you. That's what I've been up to. That and towing. A decent bit of it. Ray, on the other hand, he's been doing Ray stuff, which mainly includes, he's been doing a bunch of towing as well. But he's actually got some progress done on the 1957 cab. He's actually got a good bit of progress, sheet metal work anyway. So with that being said, let's hear from Ray for a second.
Okay, so just a quick update on the 57. So as you can tell, I did a section of floorboard here that I've replaced. It's almost fully welded in. Don't look close at the welds. It's not pretty. I've rebuilt these boxes here on the end. Had to replace this piece here, had to replace this piece. Those are welded in, and I got some rust preventative sprayed on that, at least on the inside. I've done the same thing on this side in there. Again, don't look real close at my welds. It's not going to be seen. I'm not stressing it. And I've got, obviously you can see the whole lower part of the cab is missing from here to here. I've got another piece sitting right here that's going to weld in there in time. So I've already got this cab corner mocked up. As you can tell, that is an original piece of sheet metal. So that's kind of where I'm sitting with this. That cab corner will be the next one to get welded in. And then once I get that done, I'll finish welding the floor pan in. And then I'll start working on this cab corner, which is sitting behind me on the trash barrel, sitting there, just kind of waiting. Next step is going to be the floor pans. That section there is getting replaced. That section there is going to get replaced, and a little bit down on the firewall. And then we can work on doing rocker panels, which are, you can kind of see if you look close, it's all Swiss cheese down here. That needs replaced. I'll get new lower rockers. Yeah, you kind of see the rust. Rust. So just kind of a quick update as to what's going on with that.
As you can see, he's getting progress done. Freaking sweet. I haven't touched the crawler in about 3 weeks. I got one of my steering brackets mounted, well, tacked into place. It functions, it works, put air to it, the piston does wheel turny stuff. Sweet. So today's objective, I'm probably going to go and work on that a little bit more. Get the second part of that shear on there. I think I've got all the stuff to do the iron welding as well. I think I might need some more rods, but I can at least get some of it done. Maybe I don't know. I'm working on that. That's still in the works. I think I actually got to order them from our supplier, but that's aside the point. So that's what I'm going to work on for a little bit and just see how it goes. I do apologize. We have not had a chance to come up with a video. The towing always comes first because that's been a 17-year standing business. We have got to take care of our people there. Let's see what we got going on with this axle.
All right, so we're out here at the axle. Can I show you what I got done so far? Like I said, I haven't had much time to mess with it, but I'm working on it, okay? Been rough. Fuck. All right.
So this bottom bracket is tacked in. Got a couple of welds on it. One on the other side. This one, I could actually tack it in and weld it. I got it all clamped and blah, blah, blah. But first things first is I've got to get a hole. So I got to get a hole in this one so that the bolt lines up. So basically I got to make a through punch of some sort to punch a hole, pull that back off, and basically be able to get a 1-inch hole in that thing. So I run the bolt through it, tighten it down, and it'll actually hold that bracket in place while I tack it up. I've already started making a through punch. I can't remember where I put it, but still, I already started. Step 1. So yeah, I'm gonna pull this back. I'm gonna try to get the through punch thing figured out, and I'll be right back. All right, so all too often doing this custom stuff, we find ourselves needing like tools. So I just talked about through punch. Do I have a 1-inch through punch hanging around? Absolutely not. We have a lathe though. So what I've come up with, yoink. So the piece I have in here now was just about 1 inch, which is what I needed. And where'd it go? Plop. I found a center punch. I want to say it's 5/8 or 9/16 in diameter. A little too big to go in there. Center hole's a 1/2 inch. I'm gonna punch it to 9/16, and then I'll shave this down to the appropriate size so it's nice and tight and straight. So yeah, all too often we find ourselves just making tools. Blacksmiths back in the day, they used to, if they needed a tool, they made it. So we're kind of following the same footsteps of that. I mean, if I was to go try to find a through punch, I'd probably have to order one and wait 3 days. I ain't got 3 days. I just want to get it done now. So I'm gonna lathe it up. Might not be the best view, but it's what I got. So we got to reprofile this tip here. Tried filing it, just like Forge and Fire, it skates. So the file is useless. So we're going to use, work them in here, camera. This function to reprofile that tip. One, to make sure, one, to make sure it's dead center where it's supposed to be, and 2, to sharpen it. So we're going to use this, and I'll show you kind of how that works. And with that being said, you notice the tip's on the other side of the material. We got to spin the lathe backwards, which this one can do that, no problem. We're going to spin it backwards, sharpen it, and we should be good to go. Yay, more lathe cam. All right, so real quick, what we're going to do is we're going to suck this bit further into the holder. And the reason is deflection. Now granted, yes, that's a 1/2 inch of hardened steel. This is. But basically deflection, the further out you have it, the more it will waver, I guess you could say, the more it will deflect. You suck it in real hard, you're less likely to have that happen. This is especially true for boring bars, which we have, and I had an issue with one a couple weeks, well, actually a couple months ago. I had way too much bar sticking out, and all it did was chatter. See? Nice and sharp and pointy. Point, 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 point. Yep. So this will slide in that body. So the general idea, here, you're just gonna have to hang out on the bench. Stay. Don't move. So this is gonna go inside that piston eyelet and the bracket for the one side. Boink. This is gonna be a placeholder. I don't want this moving. This little mammal will go through it, and essentially what I'm going to do is take a C-clamp and grab it so it pushes against where we're trying to make a hole. And you just take a hammer and pop the end of the C-clamp, That'll give us our locator hole. Then we pull that bracket off, put it back on the lathe, and switch to the mill part of it and drill the hole. So with that being said, like anything up to 1/2 inch, I'll use one of these. No big deal. Anything 1/2 inch and bigger, what we've discovered, and anyone that's ever tried drilling the holes with the bigger bits, is one, if you have on speed 2, all you do is burn out those big bits. You gotta slow them down. So you put on speed 1, it's slower. But when that stupid thing catches, your wrist will be over here, about to break, before you can react and let go of the trigger. So instead of breaking our wrist, we'll let the mill do it. It's got more power anyway, and it'll drill straighter, which is what we want. Anyway, so with that being said, something else I will mention, is like you just seen, we made our own tooling. Yes, I'm having a coffee about it. I would implore anyone that wants to get into this stuff to actually go ahead and get a lathe. Getting a lathe mill combo like this, I'm not gonna lie, it's not cheap. I mean, this is a $10,000 machine if you buy it brand new. Then you gotta buy the tooling. Which, believe you me, I've spent many a night on Amazon harassing the hell out of Ray, like, hey, what's this do? What's that do? Do we need this? Do we want that? Another couple thousand later, we get a pretty plethora of tools, but that's taking years to build up. But I'd recommend anyone go get one of these things. As far as making your own tooling and such, this thing's been a lifesaver. And with that being said, too, if anyone wants or a future video idea, we can kind of do a tutorial on how to use the thing. You know, there is some do's and don'ts, and there is some etiquette, I guess, and safety measures you need to take. But me and Ray have tossed that idea around of doing a tutorial on how one of these things work and how to make it work for you. So if y'all actually want to see that, give us a comment. Like, you know, a little button right there. I'll put it right there. Yeah, leave a comment. Let us know. I'm not a machinist by any stretch. I learned everything I know basically from Ray. Ray's a machinist around here. He knows how to make some stuff happen with that thing. I'm more the guy that, okay, we need to get this done. You go that way. Just unless you hear screaming, I'll get it done. I'll make something happen. But he's the one that really knows how to use that thing. I can do the basics. So anyway, with all that being said, I said, leave a comment. Let us know if you want to do a tutorial on it. Like I say, if you want to learn how these things work or how to make them work for you. Anyway, I'm going to go center punch something. All right, so show you what I got going on. Orange clamp is holding the top. Big silver clamp's holding the bottom in place. I said this one's already welded, tacked in. The other side's free floating. This monstrosity is holding pressure. Sorry, I got a lot of sunlight out here. There we go. On the punch we just made, this centering pin is just hanging out midair. So basically all we got to do now is smack this with a hammer, and that'll give us our centering mark on this piece. And we can drill it. That should give us our centering mark. I'll pull this whole conglomeration apart and let's see what we got. All right, so here's our piece for the other side. Look at that. That's exactly what I wanted right there. Cool. I'll put this on the lathe bed. Once I clean that all off, switch over to mill operations. We're gonna punch a 1-inch hole in here. Hey-ya. All right, so I got the machine all set up. This thing clamped in. Wham. No vise needed. We just use these bed clamps. You just want to make sure when you go to your final size, which is 1 inch, you don't drill into the bed here, because that's bad. So we're gonna start with 1/4 inch and work our way up. One-inch hole. Go see how it fits. All right, got this thing all mocked in. I'll show you what we got. That's just a spacer. That's a nut we're actually going to use, or a bolt. But yeah, it's all in there where it should be. Everything clearances. And this will be the closest it will ever be, is a full lock either way. Yeah, I've been trying to get that done for 3 weeks. If not 4. So now that's done, I think I'm going to go in for a coffee. It's kind of, hot out here. I'll be back in a little bit and we'll see what happens from there. All right,
It's been a few minutes, for sure. Usually I get the wrecker moved. We got the axle hanging from the wrecker. You got the soft endless loops on it. Therefore, I don't conduct electricity back into the truck and wipe something out. Probably a computer, be my luck. This truck's already giving me a ration for the week. I'm not in the mood to deal with anything else. Basically, I had a clutch slippage issue, but I'll get into that later. For now, we're all set up, we're cleaned, jigged. I'm just gonna cook some metal. I haven't done that in a little while. Yeah, I'll cook. Hi-ya. Alright, so we got side one burned in, on both of the insides anyway, those are burned in. I did that for a very specific reason. I'll show you here in just a second. So, by burning the inside, ignore my tack weld. If there's any slag in this channel, able to stick a cutting disc in there and chew it out on both sides. If we did this first and there was any slag under the metal in here, there ain't no way in hell we're getting that out. So I did that way. I'm gonna cook this side, attempt to flip this thing, I don't know, 9 degrees back the other way and get the other side so I'm not welding over my freaking head. Alright, so my pants won't fire once they. Let's not go for more. Side one, check. Now on to side two. Decided to double layer it. I don't like the way that it welded to the axle tube itself, so I made sure to dig it really good on the bracket and then put another layer on the tube. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, it looks like. The steel part of this, I think, is pretty much done. Somewhat. I'll probably weld in some reinforcements in there, but for the most part, I think that's pretty good. BRB. Alright, so the steel welding's done. The iron welding's next. I'm 99.9% sure I don't have enough rods to do it, but I might come out here tomorrow and try, just mess with it and see what I can see, just see how far I can get. But anyway, I'll be back out here tomorrow goofing off, and we'll see what we can get done. Alright, so I lied a little bit. I can't let this sit overnight. I'm going to pick up the kids, come back. I was like, you know what? I'm going to burn these rods. There's only 4 of them. I'm going to at least get the inside welds done. Worst case, because everything's already cleaned, so worst case, I can do the outside welds later if I run out of rod. So I'm just going to set up and start burning this thing. Like I said, while the metal's clean, I'm just going to get it done. Evening, hiya. most of the nickel 55 rod welding is done. I got a little bit left. I'm out of rods. I had 4 left. I'll get another batch Monday. I don't think our supplier's open tomorrow. Today's Friday, I think. Today's Friday. They're not open tomorrow. I'm gonna come out here about once an hour. Basically, it's you heat it to 400 degrees before you weld it. Come back here in about an hour, reheat it to about 300, clean everything real good. Let it cool again, come back out another hour, heat it up to about 200. Come back in about an hour, heat back up to about 100, 150, and then let it cool for the night. So everything kind of slowly contracts together. I've had real good luck doing it that way. It's time consuming, obviously. It's going to take 4 hours, so it's like 7 o'clock now. Yeah. So 11 o'clock, it'll get its final heat treat for the night. I was kind of psyching myself out about that because welding casts can be a nightmare. It's not hard to screw it up, I guess is the big thing. So I was playing all the scenarios in my head, how to go about it, where to start, just how to do things. And I halfway psyched myself out, but I've learned you just gotta get in there and do it. So far, so good. Like I said, I'll do its post heat and go from there. So, anyway, now I'm gonna go in and get calories and see what other kind of trouble I can get into. Yeah. We'll see ya again. Hey YouTube. It's the next day, back. It's a little later in the day. I've been actually working on this thing most of the day. I had to run out, go get some nickel 55 rod at a Northern Tool, like 30 miles that way. Thought there was one closer. Apparently there wasn't. No big deal. Got some rods. Cool. I also got a box 7018 because I had what, 4 or 5 left. Finished the cast iron welding. I didn't show you guys that. I also put a couple of reinforcement pieces, which I'll show you all in a second. But it was a matter of I was on this side of the axle, I was on that side, this side, that side, this side, that side. I just wasn't going to bore you with that, so I'll just show you the end result right quick, and yeah, I'll explain my next step at my last step. So, un momento. Alright, so here's this thing all welded up. The diff cover is not like on there. I still got to clean that up a little bit. Did make these pieces here. That's 3/8. That's 7018. That's nickel 55 all the way around, back around this side. 7018 again. 2 layers 7018 here, a single on the inside. Well, those are welded in hot. Nickel 55 here, 2 layers. You know what, all around this side. Can you imagine me trying to do this while welding? 2 layers, 1 layer, 55, 55, a lot of 55 up and around, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that's all reinforced and in there, and actually get a socket around that, so yay. Actually, socket goes on this side, but anyway. So with that being said, next step is going to be to get my lobster on. Yeah, kind of getting burnt out here. I already cut the pieces out. I want to take basically 4 2-inch tall, 7-inch long, 3/8 plates, and kind of mount them in front of where this piston's going to be so it don't turn to rock bait. Alright YouTube, so I'm going to pump the brakes right here. Cumulatively I have like 4 hours of raw footage. I'm not going to try to cram that all in one video. This thing would be an hour long. So we're going to pump the brakes right here for the moment. So what I think we're going to do is for next week's video, I've already got the footage. I'm going to try to edit it out throughout the week and get it up. Possibly Sunday. We'll see what happens. So for now, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that other fun stuff. We'd greatly appreciate it. Once again, I do apologize that we couldn't get a video out until now. Like this month's been crazy. So hit the notification bell, boing, 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 and hopefully I can get this all edited up. And next week have you another. Well, hopefully the end of it. That'd be nice. The end of this whole ordeal. So we'll see ya.